Hey there, this is James Donaldson. I was a former NBA basketball player back in the 80s and 90s. Put in a good 12, 14 years or so, playing against all the great names that you heard back in those days. But what I've moved on to now is something that I feel is very, very important for everybody, especially us men. Uh, I've gone into the field of mental health awareness and suicide prevention. So I do a lot of speaking engagements at schools, middle schools, high schools especially, speaking to the kids about really trying to get their mental health in a good, strong state so they can withstand the ups and downs of life that are coming at them. But my other big passion is working with men. You know, coming from a sports background, it's male dominated, men, ego, and machoism, and all the rest of that. I dealt with that for all those years. I had my own share of it going on. Um, But, you know, and those things serve us well when we're young and we're athletic, we're fit in our 20s, 30s, and 40s. But when we get up into our 50s and 60s, like I am now, we need to be able to slow it down and to realize that we can't do it all by ourselves. You know, our physical prowess is starting to wane. We're no longer that athletically gifted like we used to be. And we do need some help from time to time. So I want to make sure that I share with you a series of videos I'm putting together about men and mental health, brought to you by my foundation, which is Your Gift of Life Foundation, a nonprofit 501c3, and you can find it at yourgiftoflife.org. Let me tell you a quick short story about why I got into this space and what really motivates me to keep it going now. Back in 2015, I had emergency open heart surgery for an aortic dissection. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's the big aorta that comes off your heart there, and also off the bottom of it as well. And mine was starting to separate. The tissues were starting to separate, called a dissection. And if it ruptures, you have about 10, 15 heartbeats left before you just bleed out and you won't even make it to the car, let alone making it to the hospital. And it happens to way too many people every single year in this country. So they caught mine just in time. Emergency open heart, life saving surgery. Laid me up for the better part of the year. I took 12 and a half hour surgery, medically induced coma for 2 weeks, and really flat on my back for the rest of the year. That was part one. Part two, in 2016, we did the second part of the surgery, which, with my condition the previous year, there's no way I would have survived it. So they put it off until I healed up a little bit and got a little stronger, and we can do part two. 2018, I had an arterial bypass up here in my shoulder chest area to try to reroute some blood that my circulation had been compromised, and that didn't go well. I picked up a major infection within 24 hours after surgery, and was on intravenous, uh, all kind of different antibiotics for about 6 more months after that. Uh, 2020, I had because of the surgeries, my right lung was starting to shrink up upon itself. It became partially paralyzed and about a third of the size it's supposed to be. And so we went in there and got that expanded out 2020. So 4 major surgeries in 5 years. And this put me into a tailspin that I didn't think I was going to come out of. I had a business that I was running for almost 30 years. It finally went out of business. My life savings from the NBA, especially hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, sitting there waiting for retirement. I put it all into my business, trying to save the business and trying to keep my 25, 35 employees employed as long as I could. The house I'd lived in for 40 years went into foreclosure, and I ended up losing that. My wife walked out on the marriage in 2017, just as I was starting to get back on my feet again. Took her son and my stepson with her. Bankruptcy, foreclosures, everything that could go wrong went wrong. and lost everything except for my life, which I was just at the verge of throwing it all away with my own hands. So that's what got me into this space. 2018, I went into a real deep, depressed state of depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and I didn't think I'd ever come out of that. But I put together, a close group of friends, two or three or four of them, who had known me for 40 years or so, and they helped me pull through. First of all, I got my doctor on board, and he diagnosed me with the medical conditions of anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts, put me on prescription medications, assigned a behavioral health counselor to me. This was all in 2018. It took about 12 months to work my way through that real difficult, dark journey. I call it this. It was a journey of hell. I don't wish it on my worst enemy. But that's what I went through. But I pulled through, and that's my story to you. My encouragement to you is that, hey, we're all going to go through tough times in life. It may not be what I went through. It might be something totally different. It might be something you did to yourself, and you got to work your way through it. It might be just life, being life and throwing a curveball at you just can't hit. So all kind of things are going to happen. But, men, we are just notoriously poor at reaching out for help when we need it. We grow up with that mentality, and I know I was a young boy myself once upon a time where boys just don't cry. You tough it out. You throw a little dirt on it, a little spit on it, and get back out there and keep on going. That's fine when we're young and we are, athletically gifted especially. But there comes a time in life where we have to reach back out and say, hey, I need some help. I'm in my 60s now. And to be able to reach out and say, hey, it's okay not to be okay. To be able to share with my friends and my doctors and the world now. I talk about mental health all the time and what I went through. I want you guys to do the same thing. So this is an introductory video right now I'm putting together. It's a little longer than the regular videos will be. The rest of them will be 2 or 3, 4 minutes. But I really had a lot of information to squeeze into this video for you. So I want you all to say, hey, man, if I need some help, I'm going to reach out for it. Us guys, we resort to all kind of real detrimental behaviors. Drinking way too much, smoking, drugs way too much, gambling, promiscuity. Running around hitting on anything in town, anything that moves out there. Those things are all just momentary cover-ups of pleasure. But sooner or later, you got to come back to that real problem that's facing you, and you got to face it. So we can do better. And you've got to be able to reach out to your doctors first and foremost. You've got to reach out to your loved ones, some 2 or 3 good friends and significant others. But most guys won't do that. I've had a lot of guys call me personally, and I'm going to put my little phone number on this video as well. And if you feel the need to pick up the phone and call me, I pick it up personally, and we'll talk with you and answer with you and chat with you as long as you need to, especially if you're on the verge of suicide like I was. So that's what this video is about today. And we can do better. Brothers, I wish the best for all of us. We're all in it together, and we can make it. All right? So stay strong. Get the help you need. Call me if you need to. And this is James Donaldson. I'll be right there with you throughout your journey as well. All right? Take care now. Signing off. Have a great day.